Hi everyone, welcome to A Stitch in Time. Today is Wednesday, November 13th, 2024, and this is episode 295. My name is Carol. I can be found on Ravelry as Knits and Pearls, and I live east of Vancouver in the Fraser Valley of British Columbia, Canada, where it is dark and gloomy today. Again. I feel like the last few episodes it's been dark and gloomy. It absolutely poured rain last night, and I could see the mountains when I first woke up this morning, but now they're more or less shrouded in cloud, and I have a feeling more rain is on the way. What can I say? It's just been a really wet fall this year. I hope you're all doing well, that you've had a good couple of weeks since we last spoke. Mine has been out of the ordinary, and I'll get into that a little bit more later in the episode. But I do have a few things that I've been working on, and I'm anxious to show you especially a couple of them. Before I do that though, just a reminder that there are 2 make-alongs taking place in the Ravelry group. Smash the Stash is a year-long chatter thread, and all of the above encompasses the 3 prior quarterly make-alongs that took place this year. So we have, they were sweater weather, accessorize it, and rock your socks. So all those types of projects are eligible for the latest make-along, which finishes up at the end of the year. Again, I have been woefully absent. Every time I think about going in and trying to catch up on posts, it just seems overwhelming. I feel like I need to do it all at once, and what I really should be doing is taking little small bites. I'm hoping things calm down a little bit more next week, and then I'm able to do that, because right now I just feel like I'm in a big time crunch, and just don't seem to have enough time to do so many things that I want to. Speaking of time crunch, I have about a half-hour window here to record, so I'm going to try and get through everything really quickly. It is late morning, and I am recording here in our downstairs office, what used to be our downstairs spare bedroom, trying to take advantage of the light coming in from the window in front of me. All right, I think it will do. So it's gonna have to do. Oh, before I talk about what I finished, let me just say this is my Jethro cardigan, which I finished a few weeks ago, and it has been getting a lot of use, which I suspected it would. So nice and cozy for a day like today. Especially, I turned off the furnace so it wouldn't come on in the middle of recording. So I have a feeling it's gonna get even a little chillier as the half hour or so goes by. Okay, first up, finished projects. I finished what were my October Yarn of the Month Club socks. This yarn is from Polka Dot Creek. It is one of their sock sets. This is the Pumpkin Patch colorway. That's the main colorway, and then the set came with 2 minis, Spice and Moss. And I love how these turned out. They're just plain vanilla socks, but with a few fancy touches. One of the disadvantages of sitting in front of my window and looking outside is I see what's going on out there, and there are currently a couple of neighborhood cats running around and playing. It is hard not to watch them. So I started off, these are 64 stitch top-down socks on a 2mm needle. I started out with 2x2 rib, but I thought I would do a little bit of the spice at the top just to introduce that color. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous speckly colorway. I absolutely love it. And I did an Eye of Partridge heel in the Spice colorway. I will keep wanting to call it pumpkin, but it's called Spice. And then I finished up with the toe in Moss. So nothing super fancy about it, but I feel like the, like the mini skeins kind of jazz it up. So very happy to have finished this pair of socks. I had gotten behind on my September and October sock yarn, personal sock yarn club socks. You know, it's a self-imposed deadline. It's just something I've done for myself to put 12 skeins of sock yarn away at the beginning of the year and pick, knit one each month. But I feel like I'm now caught up because it's not quite midway through November, and I'm quite a ways through my November socks. So let me show those to you now. So one last look at October's socks. And I think last episode I opened my November yarn. Pretty sure I did. And it was this colorway from West Yorkshire Spinners. It's their signature 4-ply sparkle base, and this is the Nutcracker colorway. And so again, I'm just doing a 64 stitch top down sock. I really like using the Chowgu red lace needles. Those are my favorite. So I've got that much done on one sock. The other sock needs a little bit of catching up. I'm just a little bit behind. I'm onto the green now. I've finished with the red on this one, so we're pretty close. And then where did I put it? Oh, it's in my bag. So I'm using what I call my ugly Christmas sweater bag. It's one that I made, and the fabric you can see looks like knit stitches. So I have some black West Yorkshire Spinners yarn that I bought for the purpose of doing heels and toes and or cuffs on the West Yorkshire Spinners yarns that I've purchased. And so I thought, especially because this, in the West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, just try not to drop those off the ground. I've got my file cabinet very conveniently sitting right beside me. A lot of the West Yorkshire Spinners, this little, I don't know what you call this part in between the colored stripes, a lot of it is more of a dark gray on a lot of the yarns. This one really does look black, and so I thought a black heel would be a good addition to that. And then that way I can keep the striping sequence and just add a little something. So enjoying those. I've had a fair bit of time to work on them. Lots of car rides and visiting going on, and so they're perfect for that. Another thing that's been a good thing to work on while chit-chatting to other people is the baby blanket that I am making for my grandnephew who was born in July. So if you remember, I started out with this pattern, which, I can't remember what it's called. Let me see if I've got it on my show notes from last week or the week before. Rainbow Ripple Baby Blanket by Celeste Young. So I began this with some Karen baby cakes in the Sky Gazing colorway. And I really liked this. I had seen this pattern on the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. And I thought, that would be perfect. And it was for a while. Unfortunately, as I mentioned last episode, I had finished the second of 3 cakes and realized that when I had picked it up after a hiatus, I had messed up with the area where you join the round, and I had 2 of these peaks were wonky. One was too short, this side was too long. And rather than take it all back and keep doing this pattern, I decided to start all over again. Which I'm glad I did in a way, but at the same time, I could be done by now. I started this back in August. In any case, you can see I only have that much more yarn to go, so I have 3 more stripes of the new blanket, and then this white and some other white that I wound off from another cake will be the border. So it's so close, it's so close. So what I'm doing now is the Sand and Sea Baby Blanket by Christine Mullen from Ambassador Crochet. And this is a great pattern. It's very rhythmic, repetitive. Sometimes repetitive can be bad, but in this case I find it very enjoyable. So I did, because I had 3 cakes of this yarn, I did size up the blanket about 1/3. And so I chained about 1/3 more stitches. So you can see this is the only thing I'm not happy about with this yarn. It is what it is. I will gift this anyway, but where the colors change, there are these little blips of darker colors, but that can't be helped. I have done some color management so that the striping sequence is the same as I've joined in new cakes of yarn. So you can see it's like that wide now, and then this is the width of it. So I don't know which is the, I think it will probably end up being maybe about a square. Let me just see. I sort of thought it would end up sort of 40 by 40, but I can see actually as I hold this up and fold it into a triangle that this is longer. The length is longer than the width. So I guess it's going to be a stripy blanket that goes sideways. In any case, yeah, just kind of wreck it a little bit, doesn't it? But it is what it is. I'm not giving up now. I'm so close to the end, and it will be nice and warm. It's a nice tight stitch. I don't know if the stitch has a name. It's just basically a single crochet and a double crochet into each stitch as you work your way across. So like I say, very rhythmic, and my goal has been to do try to do a stripe of color a day. It takes me close to an hour, which often gets broken up over the course of the day. Some days I do more than that, especially if I've missed a day. But like I said, I'm down to 3 more stripes in the border, so this will be done next time we see each other. And I'm very happy about that. Another thing I am ecstatic about is I yesterday plied the first half of my Sweet Georgia Yarns Cordale in the tapestry colorway. So I had purchased 3 braids of this fiber, and then I divided each of the braids in half and half again. And I spun the first 2 quarters of each of the braids back to back on 3 different bobbins. And then yesterday I was determined to ply them. Now, one thing I was really thrilled about is how thin I got this yarn, all of my plies. But what I sort of forgotten from the last experience of spinning really thin is it takes forever to ply. So I had curling yesterday morning, came home, had lunch right away, and then I got to work, and I didn't finish until the evening. Of course, I took a few breaks in there for supper and just take a little break. My thumb last night when I was lying in bed was really sore. This is where I sort of pinch the yarn as I'm plying or spinning, and just the pressure. It's a lot better this morning, but my thumb was just like really sore. Anyway, I did soak my yarn, so it's still a little damp. So I haven't put it up into a, excuse me for a moment, I need a Kleenex. I did not wrap it up into a skein because it still has to dry. But look at this glorious, glorious yarn. There are about 144 grams here. I have no idea how much length. My guess is that it's turned out to be a light fingering. can see all the colors. So tons and tons of barber poling, as you can see. Quite often what I found is that there were areas where I would end up with 2 strands of one color and then either a lighter or a darker color barber poling with it. And then in some areas, like you can see here, you know, more or less the same in the shades of the burgundy and pink, or in here, well, here's one where there's like gold with the burgundy. I don't know how well that's picking up on the camera, but I'm really pleased. Like, look how straight it's hanging. That means it's well balanced yarn. I just can't believe I did this. If you are new here, welcome. First of all, I just started spinning back in April, and I never thought by this stage that I would be making yarn like this. It's very exciting. So I have another half braid of each of the 3 braids, but I am going to put this on hold. I intend to spin up the rest the same way. I don't know if I would, I was wondering if I would have enough yardage to do a sweater. If this is fingering, and if I work out that I have sort of, you know, fingering weight yardage that you normally would get for the weight, I should have enough to do a sweater. I'm not sure. The other thing would be to use this for something and then spin up the other 3 half braids and do a different type of plying, like maybe do a chain ply and keep the colors together. I am not sure. It's all up in the air, but I have a spinning advent on my way from, or on the way from Fiber Nymph Dye Works, and I want to spin that up throughout December. So I don't want to put anything else on the wheel, because the thing is, even if I start this, then whatever, I have to put it on hold for so long, and I don't think that's necessarily the best thing to do. Oh, just look how pretty it is. Oh, so excited. Anyway, I am going to just had this kind of hung up on the side of this little folding table I have here. We'll see if it'll stay there again. Might have jiggled the camera, sorry. All right, speaking of Fiber Nymph dye work and acquisitions, I have some things that arrived since the last time I recorded. First of all, I ordered 2 skeins of the Mountain Tweed Merino DK in the soft black colorway, and that is the same base that I used for my Jethro. I had about these granny squares were knit with a 6 color full skein set, and I have about half of it left over. So I thought I would get a neutral color once again, and I'm picturing doing a stripy sweater with it. This that I have on is not soft black, but it is similar. This is just a little bit darker. I can't remember the color that I had. I'll see if I can find that in my notes. See where I finished my Jethro. Looking back through my notes to see when I did that. I guess I finished it longer ago than I thought I had. Oh, there's Jethro. A soot. So I had ordered the soot colorway for the sleeves and bands. So this is just a little bit darker. So not sure when that's going to happen, but glad to have that. I also ordered this Mountain Tweed BFL in the Kitty Pie colorway. And pie colorway, in case you don't know, is a self-striping yarn that is dyed with stripes based on the number pi. And so each stripe is a different width, and there is no repeating through it. So I know the only three numbers I know in pi are 3.14. So the first stripe is going to be 3 times as wide as the second stripe, which is 1, and then the third stripe will be 4 times as wide as the second stripe, because it's 4 times 1, and then it goes from there. And if there happens to be a 0 in the sequence, that color is skipped. So I got this yarn with the intention of making socks for my brother-in-law. My sister-in-law, or my sister and my brother-in-law are huge cat lovers. They have a cat family, and I just thought that would be a fun colorway to do for him. And so I intend to cast these on pretty soon. His birthday is actually this month, just in about a week. It's the same day as our grandson's birthday, so it's great. I never forget when their birthday, or when my brother-in-law's birthday is anymore. I used to know it was around this date, and then I would guess one or side. I'd sometimes think, is it this or this or this within a day of each other, but now I don't forget. In any case, I will not be obviously finishing them by then, and my sister and he are coming out for Christmas, and at that time we will celebrate winter birthdays, and so I will be able to give them to him then in person, as opposed to mailing them to Toronto, which is where he and my sister live. So yeah, I think that's gonna be a fun one to knit up. So I'm gonna cast those on pretty soon. I also, now that I'm a spinner, ordered some fiber. Let's take this one out so you can see. This is a mixed BFL, and this is in the colorway This Day We Fight. And this is a colorway that was dyed for a fundraiser for suicide prevention. And so Lisa, the dyer behind Fiber Knit Dye Works, does do this fundraiser every year. So this year the funds were donated to Canines for Warriors, the Trevor Project, and CHAD, which is Children and Adults with ADHD. The Trevor Project works with at-risk LGBTQIA+ youth, and Canines for Warriors works with the veteran population. So very worthy causes. And oh, this is really soft. I had not opened it up or really looked. Honestly, I haven't had a real much of a chance to even look at any of these closely since I got them. But they are now out of the package. That gives you a better idea. I will confess, when I was looking at this online, the colors were much brighter, but that I realized when I received this is because this is a different yarn base than the one that was pictured was. I think it was a merino or a merino silk, and I wanted something a little more toothy still, that I'm still like a beginner spinner. And but I mean, this is lovely. It's just not as bright as I thought, but that's okay. It'll be fun to spin. So not sure when that's gonna happen. Really nice autumny colors though. So I have 2 braids. I'm just gonna reach down, pick my bag up so I can put it right away. Yeah, so I have 2 braids of this. No idea, no plans, don't have any idea how I'm going to spin this one, but oh, is it ever nice and soft. Feels really good. All right, I think that's it for fiber things. And just very briefly bring you up to date on what's been happening here. Let me just flip my page of my show notes, take a sip of tea, and dive right in. All right, so last episode, I believe I mentioned that we were going to have a visit from Cameron's brother and his wife. And they were coming, and we kind of arranged it that they would come over the same weekend. We were doing a belated Thanksgiving dinner for our kids and grandkids. And so they did arrive Friday, and we had a nice dinner, lots of visiting. And then unfortunately, my sister-in-law had a medical emergency that put her in the hospital, and she's been there ever since. And so their visit became much extended. Added to the situation was my brother-in-law has an appointment tomorrow to have cataract surgery, and he's been waiting 10 months for it. And his wife said, go home, because they live on Vancouver Island. Go home, I'll be fine here. And so he left Sunday because he had some preparatory things to do prior to his surgery, and also to get things ready for when my sister-in-law can go home. And so we've been making a point of either us or another family member visiting her every day, just so she's not all by herself all day. So I'm going to head out this afternoon to go see her. She thankfully is improving every day and getting a little bit stronger and a little bit more mobile. And so we're really hoping that she'll be able to either be transferred to a hospital in Victoria or home soon. Okay, I just saw a call flash up on my screen, but it says it's likely spam, so I'm not going to interrupt recording to answer that. Last weekend, so that was a week ago Friday that they came over, and then last Saturday we attended my cousin's 50th anniversary party. So this cousin that we're very close to, he and his family grew up just a couple of blocks away from where I grew up, and I always think of him as like like a brother I never had. And we had a really lovely time and saw friends and family of theirs that we hadn't seen for a long time, and then met some family members for the first time, some extended family members. So it was a really, really lovely kind of afternoon, evening event. Let me see. Coming up this weekend, I am taking part in a bonspiel. It's the Pot of Gold. It's for, I think it's senior women. I think that's what the parameters are. I'm pretty sure that's your who it's aimed at. Many of the teams from my Tuesday morning ladies league will be participating, and then last year at the end of the year meeting, I had volunteered to be on the bonspiel committee, and so I've been helping out with some things there. And our team is on the decorating committee, so I made some place cards for the tables. That was fun. Not. I just had, not super techy. I was trying to do labels, like mailing labels, and then sticking them onto gold cardstock. And I finally figured out how to get all the labels done on the computer. And then I couldn't print them on this computer. I had to send the file to my little Surface tablet laptop thing. And then the first page printed beautifully, and then the second page was terrible. I had just gotten new ink, and for the first time ever, I did not get the ink, the Canon ink that is meant for my printer. I got a Staples refilled cartridges. And I think that was the difference. The first page printed out fine. The second page was a mess. All the color was wrong. So I had little pots of gold on each of the name things. Anyway, I had to scrap that and then just go with plain old names and stick those on. So it's a little thing, but it took up a lot of time. I know nobody's going to remember what they looked like, a week from now. It was just frustrating after putting that much time into it and being really happy with it to just have it a mess. Anyway, tomorrow morning I have to go to the dentist, and then tomorrow afternoon I need to go and help decorate for the dinner afterwards. And then the Bonspiel takes place on Friday and Saturday. So looking forward to playing and looking forward to the dinner and everything. It will be a fun event. It's just been one more thing on the list, the to-do list. Okay, that brings me to something good. So last episode I mentioned that my husband was stepping into a new role at work, that he was took a less stressful role to kind of ease into retirement. And so this is sort of the midway through the second week of him truly embracing that role. And here he is home for lunch. One moment. I was hoping to finish before he got home. I didn't know for sure if he was going to be home for lunch, but I thought he might be. So anyway, yeah, this is part of the new normal. He's working at a store that's just over 2 kilometers from where we live. He's been working 8 to 5 every day with an hour lunch hour. So most days he comes home for lunch. He gets to sleep in a little later in the morning. We have longer evenings together. It has been a really nice change. It's taken him some getting used to. He's used to working longer hours and by choice not taking a lunch hour. He would just eat as he works. But yeah, it's been a good thing, and so I'm really happy for him, and it's been a nice change. Friday night we are getting together with some of his work colleagues. A couple of the managers that he supervised arranged a get-together for the managers and salespeople that he had in his region at a local pub. So we're going to go on Friday for that, and that'll kind of celebrate his move into this new position. All right, I'm gonna go and visit with him while he has lunch, and then I am going to be off to the hospital to visit my sister-in-law. So I will edit and upload this later this afternoon, and hopefully it will be up by sometime this evening. So I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you as always for all your comments and little notes and participation in the make-alongs. I am so hoping to be able to catch up on all of that sometime soon. I don't know where the time goes. The days just fly by, and I can't believe we're midway through November. Before we know it, Christmas will be here. Anyway, take care of yourselves. I will talk to you again very soon. Bye for now.